Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's me, Cadilac, aka OG Cadillac, aka Mother of the Decade. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning, hippies. Good morning, Nene. How's everyone doing? Oh, Lord, y'all. I don't understand this dimension we live in now. I don't understand the world that we live in now. Is it because I'm old? Or is it because we live in a parallel universe? Y'all tell me. I don't know. I'm about to be 44, so got 9 days. What planet am I living on? All right. So let's get into it. First, I want to follow up about Adelson, Wendi Adelson. Some of the jurors came out and spoke, and as it turns out, the jurors believe that Wendi is guilty of sin. So I do think we're going to see Wendi be prosecuted. I do. I think there's a travel ban on her, as I understand it, and I do think she's next. I don't think they're going to go for Harvey. But I do. I think Wendy's on her way next. The whole Adelson family is like dominoes. Harvey's like 80, so leave the dude alone. Okay. What else are we talking about today? Okay, let's talk. Oh, look, I have like marker on my finger. Okay, so let's talk about YNW Bortlen. All right. As you recall, last week we discussed the plea offer that was on the table for him. And if you recall, I said if bro is guilty, he needs to take the offer. All right, he was looking at 5 life sentences plus 75 years. So basically 6 life sentences. And they offered him 16 years, 4 of which he's already served. Excuse me. So he's like 12 years, which he'll get off. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get out in like 6 and then be on probation. That's a deal of a lifetime, especially if you're guilty. One of my comments brought up why the government would offer Bortlen such a good deal, saying that they think the government doesn't have a good case. Now, I agree. The case we saw for Melly back in 23 was not that great. It's not a good case on the government's part. However, Bortlen, as we all understand it, was not the man who pulled the trigger. He was just the driver. So I could see a reduced penalty and an easier plea on a driver, particularly if the government thought that that plea might lead to some kind of testimony against his friend. As it turns out, testimony against Melly is not required, and it is, Bortlen said he's not going to talk. So he doesn't have to talk. The plea is the plea. It's sealed, and he doesn't have to talk. So let's watch him take the plea.
Before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state, you were charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is murder in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital offenses. The maximum and mandatory penalty is life in Florida state prisons. Counts 3 and 4 are accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree. Those are each first degree felonies. The maximum penalty is 30 years in Florida state prison. In case number 23-10643, CF10A, you're charged in count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida state prison. Count 2, directing the activities of a criminal gang. That's a first degree felony. Again, punishable up to life in Florida state prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. Again, as it relates to a first degree murder charge, that is punishable by a maximum penalty of life in Florida state prison. And count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device as charged. That's a second degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida state prison. So, sir, again, before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state, your maximum exposure here was life in Florida state prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State Prison. Sir, do you understand all the pending charges and the maximum possible penalties involved?
Look, even he crinkles his forehead at that. Like 75 years, that's 5 lives in 75 years is no joke, man.
And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct? Yes. And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number one, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first-degree murder counts. All right, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Yes, sir. I'm going to order restitution payable to Terry Bagley and payable to Ashley Phillips and reservists to the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of that restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back that restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree on the amount, I will conduct a restitution hearing. Sir, lastly, and I want to make it very clear on the record, and it's unrelated to this negotiated change of plea, I guess at some point after the fact, the state wants to take a proffer from you or have a discussion with you, ask you some questions about whatever that may be. What I want you to understand, sir, is I guess that's part of this negotiated resolution, but your answers to any of those questions, whatever they might be, have no bearing on me and have no bearing on this negotiated resolution. In other words, the deal you've negotiated is the deal you've negotiated, and that's the ballgame.
All right, there you go. So apparently the state went and tried to talk to Bortlen that day, and he said nah. Okay, so what does this mean for Melly? Well, the state is not going to be able to talk about Bortlen's conviction at Melly's trial, so it won't have any effect in terms of that. However, it says to me that the case, the state's case is weak. I already know that. I already saw the state's case in the first trial. It was weak. It also says to me that Bortlen did do something wrong. Bortlen Henry did something wrong because he doesn't want to take the chance. I feel like if you were perfectly innocent, if you were absolutely innocent, you were in Texas that day or whatever, you'd say, all right, let's go to trial. I'm not going to take 16 years when I have evidence I wasn't there. Okay, so the other update from Melly then is that he recently submitted a motion to switch out his attorneys. So he is getting rid of Raven Liberty. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I told y'all I think she looks worn out on that case. She looks tired of that case, okay? And so that, and she might be involved in the witness tampering, we don't know. Anyhow, he hired a dude whose name escapes me, but that dude has defended other hip-hop artists as well as Trump. He defended Trump for a while. If you recall, ASAP Rocky's attorney had also been a defense attorney for Trump for a while. So the guy he hired, the man is like one of those famous guys whose name I don't remember. And then a woman that he hired to work along the famous guy is really renowned in Florida. She had worked for the public defender's office for over 25 years. She's been highly rewarded. She's just, when I Googled her, like her name carries weight in that community. She's an excellent defense attorney. And so I think Melly is on the right track. I think he was being kind of bogged down by his lawyers in the sense that they had already given it a run and they're probably pretty burnt out on it. And so now he has new energy, new attorneys with new resumes. They can look at everything in a different light and maybe even go back and try for bond again. Okay, so I think it's a really good strategy on Melly's part, particularly since they have at least another year or so before the trial happens. And his new attorneys can likely go try for bond and maybe will make a more convincing bond argument. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye. You know, I'm following Melly. And as you know, I'm following Yella Beezy. So Yella Beezy, as you recall, is accused of paying $2 million to have Mo 3 gunned down on I-35, near where I used to live, near where I used to office. He paid $2 million, and there's like all this evidence and videos in the street. So Yella Beezy himself is now charged with capital murder for having put out that hit, and he has pre-trial hearing at the end of January, and the trial is set for February. I've already calendared it. I will be there. I will be your Yella Beezy source, okay? I will be in the courtroom. I will be following it daily when I can't go to the courtroom. You know, I still have a job. We will have a meet and greet here in DFW for the Yella Beezy, or because of Yella Beezy. And so I would encourage all of you to join me there. The best time to travel to Dallas, by the way, is between like beginning of November until about January 12th. And then again between like February 20th until end of March. So his trial happens to fall in that decent weather time range. Aren't you guys lucky? Aren't you fortunate? So I will be there. I'm watching it. I have access to the court records. We're reading them. We're staying on top of that one. I have said so many times, and I will continue to say, that if I paid $2 million, okay, good, Nene, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you again. We're going to have so much fun in Dallas. I have a car here, so we could get around. Okay, so I have said a gazillion times that for $2 million, the $2 million Yella Beezy allegedly spent to have Mo 3 gunned down, Yella Beezy should have received some James Bond type shit, some sniper, the jackal type shit, maybe some like Charlie Kirk type shit, you know, from a hill, real hard to find, that kind of thing. That's what I would expect if I paid that much money. I would never pay that much money. If I had that much money, I'm definitely not spending it on someone else. In reality, if you're paying to have someone's life ended, you're spending the money on them, not you. It's ridiculous. I ain't making no $2 million and spending it on someone else. Hell no. All right, so Mr. Kirk, he was only 31. I really didn't know who he was. I had to Google him. And I really only have two things to say about his shooting. Oh, good, hippie. So that would be awesome. I would love if everyone could come to Dallas. We could have so much fun. We should have like a whole party. I'll plan it. Don't worry, I'll get it together. All right, so here are the two things that I have to say in response to the news that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Well, three things. First, that is the type of product and service Yella Beezy should have expected. Okay? At $2 million, it should have been that type of product and service. Second, I'm going to quote Mr. Kirk himself. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have a Second Amendment to protect our God-given rights. And the other thing I'm going to say about his shooting is another quote he said, which is, I think empathy is made up new age term and it does a lot of damage. So if we were going to look at his early demise through his eyes, he's a pragmatist, right? These things have to happen. It's part of having the Second Amendment. Do I feel for his family? Yeah. Particularly his mother, because I'm a mother, and I know how hard it is to raise a child. I know how hard it is to, like, give birth. So yeah, like, if my son's life was ended that early, I'd be very upset. And so I can definitely empathize with his mother and his wife and his children. It's sad. It's totally sad. As the public, however, if we want to really honor his memory, we should honor him the way he wanted to. And we could find out what that looks like by looking at the words he said. Empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. And unfortunately, to have a good Second Amendment, you gotta have some violence. See, so we're just honoring. We're honoring here. I'm gonna honor with showing the video because now this is very disturbing, guys. So turn this off if you don't want to see like disturbing stuff. But this is what Yella Beezy's $2 million should have bought him. Okay, not some guy on 35. That shit is just so ridiculous to me. You know how many for hire killings have happened and like we don't know about it? Yeah, a lot of them. Those are the ones that are worth $2 million. I'm sorry, like, I just can't wrap my head. I've been talking about it since he got charged. Like, it does not, how you pay $2 million for that. For that. It just, like, it is mind-boggling to me. It is mind-blowing to me. Tavonda has made it. Hey, girl. Okay, now, Tavonda, sorry, but I'm going to have to tell everyone. I wrote a resume for Tavonda. She submitted it. The next day she had a job interview, and now she works at the place she sent it to. So, if you need a magical resume, holler, all right? Just let me know. I will help you make a magical resume because that's something I'm good at. I do need the job description you want and your current resume because I don't know anything about you. So anyhow, they work. Tavonda is my first client. She's not actually. I've written a ton of resumes for people. I really enjoy writing resumes. It's like a short form sales pitch in a way. So anyhow, that is the service I now offer. Thanks to Tavonda. All right, now I'm going to get into this disturbing ass video, okay? So if you don't like disturbing things, shut it off. Don't thumbs down me. Don't cry about it in the comments, okay? We're just going to... This is what $2 million should have paid for Yella Beezy. Okay, here it comes.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last...
Okay, do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America?
10 years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great. It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Okay. Okay. I mean, honestly, if I was gonna spend that kind of money, don't be doing it in public. Do some middle of the night, some poison and stuff. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of historical videos about like history on YouTube. Man, poison is a huge favorite of the human population. Like, they love to poison people in Rome. They poison people everywhere. It's crazy. That's what I expect for $2 million, bro. That's what I expect for $2 million. I expect to never be traced back. But here we are. In February, I'll be right there at the Yella Beezy trial. I don't know if you guys knew, but my boy Big X the Plug got charged like marijuana and gun possession. Also here in Dallas, right before his new album dropped. So my understanding is they're trying to like stack more charges onto him or whatever. So I will keep an eye on that. Also, I don't know if you guys remember hearing about it. I never talked about it here, but there was a young lady in New Mexico who went to the hospital because she was like in a lot of pain or something, and then she went into the bathroom and gave birth and then put the little baby body in a trash can. Do you guys remember that girl? Anyhow, her trial is going to come up soon. Hold on, let me see. I just watched like a thing about her. See if I can find it again. Anyhow, oh, here we go. This one. So, for some reason, I had thought she was in North Carolina, but she's in New Mexico. So they said that she had like run to, hey, in other CGs, she had like run to the bathroom and was like holding her booty.
Instead of calling for
so
any
of
the medical professionals to come help her, prosecutors say that she put the newborn in the bathroom trash can, leaving it to be discovered minutes later by a housekeeper. The baby was dead.
Okay, so this is her. The craziest thing is, when they talked about it, they said there was so much blood. This girl is just like bleeding profusely and won't. So I don't think she knew she was pregnant. That's what I think. I don't think she knew. I think she probably had a feeling she might be, but you know, she's like a kid. You know. Also, hey Sonia. Okay, Lexus. Yes. For the women on here, y'all already know this, but men, our bodies are real complex. Women's bodies, real complex. Lots of weird stuff going on in them, hormones, blah, 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 blah. Lots of stuff. In fact, last Friday, the reason I was sick is because of that stuff, right? So at 17, 16, whatever age she was, I could see you not really like knowing your body, and like that stuff's already going on because you've been going through puberty and blah, 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 blah. And so I can definitely see like not knowing you were pregnant. I can. It's weird in most time, but I can see it in this situation. But then this girl goes in and she's like profusely bleeding. She gets back into the hospital bed and she's profusely bleeding and nobody's doing anything about it. They're just talking to her about what happened. Hey, Tall Glass Day, the whole gang is here, y'all, my OGs. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. See, Tavanda has said that Red Bunny has said that we were looking for her, and I was like, we were, because we were all here last Friday, but you weren't, and so she's here today, so welcome. And Red Bunny, if you're out there, reveal yourself. Okay, Nene, you didn't know until you're 4 months. Exactly. And then, like, Nene is one of these real thin girls, right? I'm not a thin girl. She's a thin girl. A lot of the thin girls, they don't even start showing until they're like 7, 8 months. On their first baby, not until they're like 7, 8 months. So I could totally see it. I could see that this kid might not have known. What I don't understand is how she's sitting there just bleeding profusely and nobody's doing anything about it. And then her mother is a dumbass, was like, what did I tell you about this? Oh my God. The minute they're like, hey, this, and we think your daughter, she should have shut up and called a lawyer. I would have looked at my daughter and said, shut the fuck up right now. Don't say another word. I would have looked at them and said, I'm not saying anything, and I would have called a lawyer. Period. Y'all quit running your mouths in front of the police. The less you talk, the better when it comes to the government and the po-po, okay? I know we live in this society where everybody is talking to a video camera all the fucking time, but there are a lot of things, a lot of thoughts in here that should just stay in here. If they stay here, you can't be prosecuted for them. If they stay here, you won't destroy certain relationships. If they stay here, they can help you not get in as much trouble. So just because it comes up here does not mean it needs to leave here, right? They can all stay inside your brain. Keep your thoughts inside your brain. Unless someone says, hey, what's your thought? Then you can share. Y'all, the talking. It's always talking all the time. All the time. Gotta stop that shit. Nene. She says, I tell my kids, if anyone asks you a question, tell them to ask your mom. Yes. I mean, you want to be able to tell your children, you want your children to be able to clearly communicate when they become older, when they're adults. You want them to be able to communicate with other adults. However, they do need to limit what they communicate, right? Like you got to teach them there are some things that just don't need to be said. Another CG says, I don't recall. I mean, I don't recall is usually a lie. So just try saying nothing. Just try silence. Just. Oh yeah, at the schools, I always told my kids, like, look, I don't care how you talk. I let them curse. I don't give a shit. They're going to be adults the majority of their life, right? They're only kids for 17 years. So I say, look, you can do all that. Just don't do it in front of the teachers. Don't do it in front of your principal. Don't do it in front of cops. Don't do that. Everywhere else, though, you're fine. Just be who you are. I don't care. You know. I don't put my children in public school because they get shot at. So one thing that the Charlie Kirk news just totally overran and destroyed was that there was yet another school shooting yesterday. This one in Colorado in the same area as Columbine, which is, in my opinion, what started the school shooting trend that we live in now. Let me see if I can see. So the kid ended his own life. White boy. Evergreen High School. All right, let's watch this.
So staying with new details on the school shooting outside of Denver yesterday. CNN's Whitney Wild.
Oh, who's he? Who's he on CNN? Who's he?
Joins us with the latest. Whitney,
Look at that, no wedding ring? Okay, CNN.
what are you learning?
Well, there's some top headlines here, but just to get our viewers up to speed, this shooting happened yesterday afternoon around 2:24 p.m. That was in Mountain Time. This is a large high school. This is 900 kids. There was a student who got onto campus, according to law enforcement, took the bus to school and began shooting at fellow students. 2 classmates are still in critical condition at the hospital. The shooter died of self-inflicted gunshot wound yesterday. Here are the latest updates, Boris. They have now identified that shooter as 16-year-old Desmond Holly. Again, they say he was a student at Evergreen High School. This is about 45 minutes west of Denver. The spokeswoman for this area, this is the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, spokeswoman Jackie Kelly.
So, another school shooting. All right, so all that being said, they have found the Kelsey Fitzsimmons. I don't know that one. Let me look it up. Kelsey. Okay, I'm going to look that one up. Tall glass. I'm going to look into that one, okay? I'll get back with you. Back to the Charlie Kirk, they did find the suspect, or well, they think they found the suspect. Let's watch this video.
Breaking news, new video showing the moment that law enforcement say the shooter who killed Charlie Kirk got away. We also have new images from the FBI.
Look at his shirt, y'all. That sends a message in and of itself.
Of the shooter, showing distinctive features on the clothing he was wearing, like this shirt with an American flag and eagle on it. Also, where law enforcement said the shooter left critical pieces of evidence as the manhunt for this killer continues into a second night. This is a breaking news edition of On the Case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Theo, take a listen.
If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was chromed out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that.
Let's play the video.
So
we just
here
saw
you
him.
see the suspect ran behind that upper
There he is,
building.
there he is.
He's come out on
Look,
the
look,
right,
look, look.
moves to this far right corner.
There he is, running across the roof.
As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then dropped down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's
What? He didn't wear gloves? First of all, you know he's young because no one over 35 could land like that and not have some kind of knee issue. Okay, we can just see from this video, this person must not be over 35. Okay. Yeah, tall glass. They had caught this older gentleman like that in the first few moments, and he's not the shooter at all. It's the older gentleman by no means could have come down off this roof and landed on his feet. If I came off a roof like that and out of my feet, my knee, I'd have to roll to my car to get away. No one's going to get the reward money. They never give the reward money.
the shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes.
Okay.
Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another
Look
view
at this.
of that.
Watch this. Watch this. This kid, you know he's a kid. Watch.
It's important to note his black t-shirt,
Okay,
his
look.
black
This
pants.
is he's on the second floor, right? This is approximately like a normal first floor height, right? Okay.
And there appears to be some white on the.
Do you see how he just landed? I guarantee this person is not over 40. I know that by that landing right there.
Those Converse tennis shoes.
Today, Mason also described the shooter as someone who would blend in on a college campus, and you can see that in these pictures. The shooter was wearing a backpack with sunglasses and a hat. Also, it appears this shooter is of the age of college students. It's, again, unclear who this person is, and that is what law enforcement is trying to figure out. Authorities emphasize that, again,
They have now caught him, and his name is Tyler or something? Hold on, let's see. Okay, here we go. Tyler Robinson.
FBI Director Kash Patel and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DP,
who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson
Why does Kash Patel look like that, y'all?
had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified.
Why? What is this face?
Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by
So he changed?
investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images.
Oh, no, they saw him in the surveillance. Okay. Anyhow,
Investigators-
he's only 22. I would like to know how he became he's probably from Utah, right? So maybe that's how he learned how to be a good sharpshooter. But, like, how do you learn to take shots like that at 22? I was thinking dude's going to be, like, in his mid-20s, like, military trained or something, early 30s, something like that. And I also was thinking that the dude might be a parent of a victim of, like, a school shooting or a mass shooting. Guess not. I'm definitely not an FBI profiler. I'm just judgmental. All right, guys, that is literally all I have for today. I appreciate being here. It's nice to have the whole fam, have everyone back, and I'm gonna go look up that case, Tall Glass. I'm gonna look up that case, and I'll get back with you guys on what I find. I don't think there's a lot of trials next week. I think it'll be a relatively slow week, but we will see. Oh yeah, Tall Glass, you're right. He could have done the shooting cans in the backyard. In Utah, your backyard's like 18 acres or something sometimes. So That makes sense. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, and I will see you next week.